Yeah, I remember that exercise very, very well. It's actually vivid memory for me. And as I looked at the 5 purposes of what Rick Warren talked about in terms of healthy churches with worship and fellowship and discipleship and ministry and outreach, I was a fellowship guy, and I ranked fellowship first. And
I wasn't surprised by the results, I guess, but I was surprised by how strong the results were.
And then it dawned on me as we looked that none of us put outreaches first. In fact, all of us but True put it dead last.
And just as we did it and went over the results, this was shortly after I was hired, and I remember thinking I was the odd duck.
I guess that little exercise for me just confirmed my sense that we needed to really help focus our church family on outreach. And I felt like that for us to do that legitimately as a staff, for us to challenge our church, that we need to think about ways that we did that in our own lives.
It began a process of self-discovery for me, encouraging me to start thinking outside the box for my own life and for my family.
Mentally, it was always a big thing, and I tried to do things, but a lot of you know I love twisting balloons. And, I've done it for years and years at, church, teaching lessons and things. But it wasn't until after we did that, and then I think it was encouragement from Lane and some others that, to take the balloons outside of the church. So our family formed our own balloon business, Top Nozzle Entertainment, and I twisted balloons at Red Robin for over 3 years. I've gotten at the point where I was able to twist a balloon without thinking about it too much, without really thinking about what twists to do. And that gave me the opportunity just to be thinking about the person and interacting with them as I'm making that creation, and sometimes even just praying for that person. And we've connected with banks, with businesses that we, have repeat customers, over the last several years, and just some wonderful connections that we've made, through twisting balloons.
Coaching was a natural arena for me. My kids all participated in youth sports, and over the past 12 years, I think I've coached somewhere between 35 to 40 different teams. Those were great opportunities to connect with many children and also with their families. One year, I remember to the parents, I gave out a copy of Rick Warren's book, The Purpose-Driven Life, along with an invitation to come to church with me at some point. Another thing that I did several times was have teams hold their end of the season party in our church youth center, cafe area. It was a great chance for them to visit our church and to see what we had up in the youth center, and for me to talk a little bit about what we valued as a church.
We had 4 kids at the time taking violin lessons, and we had a husband and wife teacher at the time who encouraged our kids to learn a Christmas carol every week in their music lesson. And after about 6 or 8 weeks, my wife and I realized, it was actually Cindy realized, hey, we could take this on the road. We could take our kids to nursing homes, and brilliantly, Cindy made the decision to call not the church-connected nursing homes, but the nursing homes in this area that didn't really have a church connection. So now today, the King's Strings has an awesome opportunity to play for Lions clubs and churches and weddings and lots of nonprofit organizations, private parties, things like that.
Recently, Josiah and I joined a disc golf league. A lot of people call it Frisbee golf. And it's been wonderful. It's been amazing. We've been able to connect with people. It's just amazing to see the talent that is there. There's 2 world champions, former world champions that we play with. And just to see what they can do with a disc is just amazing.
With our love for the musical theater and at Allenberry Playhouse, we've had kids involved in theater productions for probably around 7 years now. And for a few years, I was actually a chaplain at a theater, which was really awesome for us. We had a chance to really get to know lots of people who were homeless actors, and people sharing behind the scenes.
Over the last several years, I started to realize that my window of coaching my kids was starting to close. And so I started to ask God, what's an opportunity, what's a platform that He might have for me to continue to serve in the community and to invest in people's lives? And so this election season, if everything goes as hoped, I'll be joining our school board, and I'm excited about that platform just to serve this community, to be a part of the school system, and to interact with people that really care about the school and what it's doing in the lives of our kids and for families.
And there's a couple people that are really struggling with marriage right now and are separated from their spouses. There's one that's had problems with alcohol and drugs in their past. And just to be able to pray for them and also be able to tell them, I've told some of them, hey, I'm praying for you. Is there anything I could pray for you about?
So we had this opportunity to share with somebody and really minister to her in her place of need and brokenness. And as a way of saying thank you to us, she bought our whole family red, low-top Chuck Taylor Converse sneakers, and they're really awesome. We now wear them in all of our concerts just as a way of helping us remember who we are and who God called us to be as a family.
One of the things with ballooning, we do it as a family. We interact differently with different people. And it's amazing when people see my teenage sons, especially even a couple years ago when they were younger and smaller, twisting these balloons. And they've had opportunities to share God's love with others that I wasn't able to because of their age. Just they were perceived differently than I was.
I remember a statement one time by a guy named Paul Miller. He said, you need to look before you can love. And over the past 12 years, I think my wife and I, our family, have put ourselves in places where we really look at people.
One of the things that I've noticed in terms of my heart is that I really connect with Jesus deeply as I interact with people who don't know Christ, and am forced to rely on Christ for His strength in my interactions with them.
You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven.